One man ruled Libya for more than 4 decades. Some called him Africa's strongest leader. Others called him one of the world's most controversial rulers. He transformed Libya from one of Africa's poorest nations into one of its richest: free education, free healthcare, massive oil wealth. But his rule also brought fear, tension, and international isolation. Then came the uprising that shocked the world. This is the rise and fall of Muammar Gaddafi. Muammar Gaddafi was born in 1942 near Sirte, Libya. He came from a poor Bedouin family living deep in the desert. At the time, Libya was struggling. Many people lived without modern roads, hospitals, or schools. But young Gaddafi was ambitious. He admired leaders who challenged foreign influence in Africa and the Middle East. As a student, he became interested in politics and military power. He believed Libya's oil wealth should belong to Libyans, not outside powers. That belief would shape his future. By his 20s, Gaddafi joined the military academy. Quietly, he began building connections with young officers who wanted change. And in 1969, everything changed. On September 1st, 1969, a group of young military officers removed Libya's king from power while he was outside the country. The operation happened quickly. There was little resistance. At only 27 years old, Muammar Gaddafi became the face of Libya's new government. To many Libyans, he represented hope. He promised independence, national pride, control of Libya's oil wealth, unity across Africa and the Arab world. And at first, many people supported him. Oil money began flowing into national projects. Roads expanded, schools opened, hospitals improved. Libya's standard of living rose rapidly compared to many African nations at the time. Gaddafi presented himself as a revolutionary leader, not just for Libya, but for Africa itself. Gaddafi dreamed of a united Africa. He believed African nations could become stronger by working together economically and politically. He invested heavily across the continent. He funded infrastructure projects, hotels, telecommunications, and regional organizations. Many African leaders respected his influence. Some even called him the King of Kings in Africa. At home, Libya experienced major development. Education became widely accessible. Healthcare expanded. Electricity and water projects reached many communities. One of the biggest projects was the Great Man-Made River, an enormous system designed to transport water across the desert into cities and farms. To supporters, Gaddafi was building a modern African nation. But outside Libya, tensions were growing. Western governments became increasingly critical of his leadership and foreign policies. And over time, Libya became more isolated from many parts of the world. As the years passed, Gaddafi tightened his control over Libya. Critics claimed political freedoms became limited. Opposition voices grew weaker. Fear slowly became part of everyday life for many citizens. At the same time, Gaddafi remained unpredictable on the world stage. His speeches often shocked global audiences. His political style confused many foreign governments. Yet inside Libya, opinions remained divided. Some saw him as a protector who defended Libya's independence. Others believed too much power had remained in one man's hands for too long. Still, no one could deny his influence. For over 40 years, Gaddafi dominated Libya's political landscape. But by 2011, pressure was building across the region, and Libya was about to face its biggest crisis. In 2011, protests spread across several countries in North Africa and the Middle East. Libya was next. Demonstrations began in different cities. Soon tensions escalated into armed conflict between government forces and opposition groups. The country became deeply divided. International powers became involved. Airstrikes and military operations followed. The conflict intensified rapidly. Cities were damaged. Families were displaced. The nation entered chaos. After decades in power, Gaddafi's government began collapsing. And then came the moment that changed Libya forever. In October 2011, Muammar Gaddafi was captured during the final stages of the conflict. Shortly afterward, he died. His 42-year rule had ended, but Libya's troubles were far from over. Many people believed Libya would quickly stabilize after Gaddafi's fall. That did not happen. Different armed groups competed for control. Political divisions deepened. Economic struggles increased. Years later, Libya still faces challenges. For some people, Gaddafi remains a symbol of stability and African independence. For others, his long rule prevented political freedom and created deep national problems. His legacy remains one of the most debated in modern African history. Was he a revolutionary leader, a strong nationalist, or a ruler who held power for too long? The debate continues even today. Muammar Gaddafi changed Libya forever. He rose from the desert to become one of the most recognized leaders in the world. He inspired millions. He divided opinions. He challenged powerful nations. And he left behind a legacy that still shapes Africa today. History will continue debating his name for generations. But one thing is certain. The story of Muammar Gaddafi is one the world will never forget. If you enjoyed this documentary, subscribe to the channel for more powerful African stories, forgotten histories, and leaders who changed the continent forever. Comment below, was Gaddafi good for Libya or did he hold the country back?